In San Francisco, the Budget and Finance Committee investigates all funding requests made by the mayor. The supervisors on this committee depend on the Budget Analyst's office to provide thorough and independent evaluations of all funding proposals. Last fall, Mayor Gavin Newsom was actively campaigning for Rob Black, who was running against Supervisor Chris Daley. In September, Newsom introduced an emergency request for $2.5 million for violence prevention. As chair of the Budget and Finance Committee, Daley refused to hold a hearing on the request before the budget analysts evaluated it. Newsom's spokesman, Peter Ragone, claimed Chris Daley was playing politics with the city's public safety. Rob Black said, "You can always count on Chris Daley to put politics before public safety." 2 weeks later, the budget analyst issued its report. On October 18th, the Budget and Finance Committee investigated.
A lot of politics go on in the business of politics, and that's part of the nature of the business. But there is a certain level of, I think, moral responsibility that we all have not to scare people, and particularly when it comes to the very serious business of public safety, not to play politics with it.
I have come under fire for waiting several weeks to calendar this item. I do believe that a spokesperson for the mayor of San Francisco accused me of playing politics with the city's public safety. This despite my attempts to responsibly calendar this item, as with pretty much all items that we do here at the Budget and Finance Committee, with a budget analyst report so that we can look at the fiscal implications.
Approximately 2 meetings prior to this meeting today, Mr. Bruce of my staff had requested the necessary information that we need to prepare a proper budget analyst report. Whether it's this item or any item, we did not receive that information. It's a normal request. We request this from any department.
Is there a representative from the mayor's office that would like to address this? In the newspaper, the mayor's communications director, Peter Ragone, and I know that he's sometimes a wild one, but he says that he accused me of playing politics with the city's public safety.
Noelle Simmons, Mayor's Budget Office. Supervisor, I would prefer not to speak on behalf of Peter Ragone.
The budget analyst report says, interestingly enough, at page 9, that at the current spending rate in the police department, the department is projected to have a surplus at the end of the year. You know, and I know, and Harvey Rose knows that the money's not going to run out until later in the year. This whole notion that this has to be calendared and heard before there's a good budget analyst report is nonsense. And so for the administration, by and through its press spokesperson, to make that charge that somehow or another, if this is not dealt with on October the 10th or on October the 18th, that, you know, there's going to be more people killed is manure.
I do want to point out that there was no need for the mayor's office to introduce a supplemental in the second week of September. We could have simply authorized the additional spending and come back to this committee in May.
There's actually no urgency to approve this today, to approve it next week. It's got to be done sometime in the fiscal year 2006-2007 before the 30th day of June of 2007. That's reality. And if maybe Mr. Ragone doesn't understand that because he's from New York, and maybe they do business different in New York, but that's the way it's worked in San Francisco for 150 years. So maybe somebody needs to educate him on how the charter of San Francisco and its governmental process works, so he won't go shoot his mouth off and say irresponsible things. So having said that, maybe we can go on to the substance of what is before us.